Well, I was born Irish, and I was born into a devout Roman Catholic family. And when I was a little toddler, about 4 or 5 years old, I began doing penances to make myself a better Catholic, looking within myself for sanctifying grace, going to the priest to get his absolution so that I could be better inside myself, trying to make myself a better person before God. And very intently during Lent, as a little boy, I didn't take candy or chocolate or sweet drinks so that I could sacrifice myself so that I would be better inside myself. I then went to Jesuit elementary school, and from when I was 10 years old, I could give you 5 reasons to prove how God existed and 5 more reasons to prove that the Pope was infallible, the head of the church, and we had to obey him in all things. So I was very early trained to defend Catholicism. I finished high school in the famous Belvedere College, still with the Jesuits, and then I decided to be a priest. But I wanted to be a priest and a monk, a friar at the same time, so I could suffer more. And I decided that the Dominicans looked like they were the ones who did most penances. I had memorized what the Pope at the time after the war had said, that the salvation of many, direct quotation, depends on the prayers and sacrifices offered for this intention. Pius XII. And so I wanted to do penance. I went into the monastery in Cork, and then I came to Dublin, to Tala, and I started to do penances and sacrifices. I also had bought, before I went into the monastery, a Bible. I thought we were going to study the Bible. I spent £3 buying a Bible, and I thought that this is where we were going to, really spend our time. I found that the first year was all rituals, devotions, the office to Mary, the divine office, the office for the dead, and we did all these religious exercises, but we didn't study Scripture. And then we did start to study intently every day in the second year, but it was the philosophy of Aristotle, a pagan 300 years before Christ. To this day, priests are still trained in the philosophy of Greece. And then we studied all the philosophies of the world. Then we started, after that, 4 years theology of the famous Thomas Aquinas. We did study the introduction to some of the books of the Bible, always under the authority of the church. So it was not anything to do with the Word. It was to do with Catholicism that my whole life was based. I did quite well academically, so I was sent to Rome, but my intent was not academic. My intent was, again, to be good inside myself, to make myself a better priest. Sometimes I would go to confession once a day so that I could get more grace poured into me. And besides, of course, taking communion every day, I would want to make myself a better person within. And then I would get permission to do extra penances besides the penances of the monastery. I had permission at one stage to get a little steel chain in which I flagellated myself. You will see some of the nuns in the book I produced did the same. Beat myself, not to blood, but as far as I could go to bear the pain, so that I could save souls.